puppy love. But I'm not a main course meal. And I think that they are planning to fatten me before the kill. Someone help me. Help me, please. Okay, it's time. It's time for WMAL's owner Cumulus to get rid of that morning show and get us a new one. That's it. That's it. Man! Ooh. Hi there. Oh. Anyhow, yes, that's Brian Wilson over there at WMAL this morning singing a tribute to Puppy Love. What's that old song? Puppy Love. That old, what was that? Donnie and Marie or something about the revelations that the president ate dog when he was a little boy in Indonesia, as if that's, it's just silly. All these big things are going on. You can't pay for your health insurance. That you can't afford it anymore. The healthcare system in this country is going to hell. The recession, the whole thing, and we're talking about dogs. Which presidential candidate is nicer to dogs? One allegedly ate a dog when he was a kid, and another one put his dog on top of a car and in a box and drove around like that. It's like, this is silly, and it's a silly morning show. It's a stupid radio station. Somebody, please, Cumulus. I don't know. I guess they got to be the worst group owner in Washington, man. They really do. All their stations, Mix 107.3 just sounds old and tired, and MAL is just a mess. And, hey. But, hey, they're 17th. 17th in the ratings. Oh, hold on. I'm not planning this well. I got to run across and grab a paper. Pardon me for a second, will you? I'm back. I'm back. All right, so let's see. What was I going to do? Oh, yeah, okay. First off, let's do this. Julia Louis-Dreyfus's new show, Veep, is on HBO today. Comes on HBO, premieres on it. Of course, Sunday night, and of course, they took out a huge big color ad in the Washington Post today. Isn't this nice? Somebody actually bought a full-page color ad in the Post. I think they're probably happy. So I'm sure Hank Stover, whatever his name is, the Post's TV guy, will give it a really good review. The other thing is Bryan Nehman that I was just listening to on WMAL. Another reason why their morning show is just superb is, he obviously, they said, Brian, hey, give us a review of the show, but make it good, and then we'll pay for it. So that's what he did. He did like a 30-second, it sounded like he was probably something he wrote. It's a half-hour show, and it was filmed in D.C. and Maryland, and it's good, and it's funny to watch it. And they kind of made it sound like, hey, here's Bryan Nehman just kind of doing his little shtick thing. I'm sure it was a paid ad. It didn't say paid for HBO, but it really sounded like a paid pitch. In this radio station, man, it's just scraping the bottom of the barrel. I'm glad Brian Wilson found something he can do well, and that is pitching products. Man. All those years working at Channel 5 covering the news, all those years working at the Fox News Channel covering the news, now he found what he's good at. Okay, so anyhow, what else do we got? The Washington Post today, Paul Farhi does a piece here. There's Paul Farhi. Paul Farhi does a piece. Apparently the Los Angeles Times earlier this week ran a picture of some soldiers, U.S. soldiers, posing with Iraqi war dead. Grisly photographs that were made available to some media outlets. Most papers, like the Post, didn't run them, but the Los Angeles Times did run a couple. And they got criticized and praised. Okay, so there. The interesting thing is this is Friday's paper. That's Paul Farhi's piece. But once again, the Washington Post, their media blogger, Erik Wemple, actually had the story 2 days ago. He did quite extensive coverage. So once again, here's Erik Wemple coming along, doing extensive coverage on his media blog. And then Paul Farhi coming along a day or two later, writing up the story in the Post. I don't understand what's that. They do have occasionally let Erik get into the print edition. They do occasionally they run some elements from his blog piece in the paper, and they have had him do a couple articles here and there. But I don't understand this bit about why you have one guy, you're paying one guy to blog about the media, and he could literally, and he's a good writer, and he's written for the Washington city paper, and he was over there at that funky TBD site and all that. He's a good writer. Why can't he just write why can't he just pen the blog piece and do the print piece? Paul Farhi has to come riding along on his little high horse and do that. Now, I love this. I love it when, this is the Washington Post front page. Isn't that great? Classy. Nice big ad down the front there. Classy paper. That's a great newspaper does this. You put this right across the front of your front page. Sears, you're not getting my business. Anyhow. You go to the correction section, the collection section, and we have a correction in the Post today. The April 17th Style section article about the 2012 Pulitzer Prizes won by Washington-based journalists should have included the Associated Press's Matt Apuzzo, Adam Goldman, and Eileen Sullivan. They were members of a team that won a Pulitzer for investigative reporting for the stories on the New York Police Department's surveillance of Muslim Americans. Okay, so that was, it doesn't tell you the correction, but that was a Paul Farhi piece, by the way. Paul Farhi wrote about, I forget, I mentioned it the other day. The other thing I thought was weird about Paul Farhi's piece there was that he didn't get, they were mentioning about Matt Worker over there at the Politico, the cartoonist, editorial cartoonist who won a Pulitzer. Paul's story didn't get around to even mentioning Matt until the 7th paragraph. Which I thought was kind of like a dig at the Politico. The Politico is a big rival to the Post. They both are covering that same kind of Capitol Hill turf there, obviously. There's no love lost between the two organizations, the Post and the Politico. And Paul Farhi's piece just kind of, put Matt down at paragraph 7 before he even got mentioned in the article on Washington area reporters that won Pulitzers. Of course, according to Paul Farhi's piece, only 2 did, and he just kind of left these other people out. Another... Hey, Paul, you're really, really doing good there. More big pictures. But anyhow, I also hope David Zerwick over there at the Baltimore Sun, I really hope he gets free HBO because he has gone way out of his way to promote Veep, which I won't be watching because I got rid of my HBO. When Larry David, Curb Your Enthusiasm ended, and I guess it'll be back, I don't know. And they got rid of Bored to Death, which I liked. That was a cool song. Bored to death, but sad and lonely. I like that show. They canceled that, and they got rid of How to Make It in America, which I also liked. Brian Greenberg. But anyhow, so I said, I'm not paying my whatever Comcast wants. Plus, Comcast raised all their rates, and I'm like, I'm tired of sending all this money to Comcast, so I canceled HBO. So I won't be watching Veep. Big deal. Now, if they gave me HBO, if HBO gave me free HBO, maybe I'd be watching. Oh, here we go again.
Well, if you're downtown, careful driving. There'll be some happy people in the streets near the Verizon Center. The Bruins won the big game. Stanley Cup quarterfinals, evening things up with the Bruins. WNEW's Cameron Thompson was there. The Verizon Center erupted at the sound of the final buzzers. The Capitals equalized their quarterfinals against the defending Stanley Cup champion Boston Bruins, 2 games apiece. It was a spine-tingling final 5 minutes as over 18,000 people. Roses won, and it was a spot. The Verizon Center erupted at the sound of the final buzzers. The Capitals equalized their quarterfinals against the defending Stanley Cup champion Boston Bruins, 2 games apiece. It was a spine-tingling final 5 minutes as over 18,000 people. Roses won and yelled, "Unleash the Fury." They stood back up in 2 minutes and didn't sit down again. Now to see if they can carry this into Boston for Game 5. From the Verizon Center, Cameron Thompson, All News 99.1.
Well, whatever. Just got someone sent me that over the transom, and I'm out of focus. So there. Poor old WNEW. Poor old CBS. 5 major FMers and not any of them in the top 10. Which junkie should be fired? I think that would be a good thing. They have 4 junkies. You know, do they really need 4? Maybe 3 would be good. Maybe they should do a big publicity thing of vote one of your junkies off the island. Which junkie should go? You know, have a big vote about it, and then they could have a big farewell for one of the least popular junkie, and then proceed on with 3 of them. I think it might be a good ratings getter. You know, it would certainly generate a lot of publicity. Paul Farhi could even, Erik Wemple could blog, or maybe Dan Steinberg could blog about it, and then 2 days later, Paul Farhi could write up the print piece. Hey! All right, folks, thanks for watching Dave TV for the 20th of April, 2012. Toodaloo, and so there.